identity. This must have also been why he'd tried to stop Sophia from intervening, disabling Miko during our conversation. No idea why he would have opted for such a roundabout way, but as previous experience had shown, all his other preset triggers made perfect sense.
Gray, the only logical explanation I can think of is that, for some reason, Prometheus absolutely didn't want to reclaim his old memory and identity, which appears to suspiciously weaken our potential, and I seem to have a few ideas in this respect.
Not now, Miko. I finally managed to scramble back to my feet. Immediately, I reactivated my avatar suit, just in case, but it looked like all combat action had been halted for the day. Miko highlighted the only two items the ephemeral had left behind, the bloodied spear and the cuff containing the retractable Guyver suit. After a moment's hesitation, I picked both up. They were my rightful loot. The verdict. The legendary Spear of Prometheus. Although the city's founder wasn't often depicted in his full combat gear, as if he didn't like to flash it around, still, every Inca in the First Legion had heard about it. I couldn't believe I was holding the actual original item, the real verdict, which Prometheus must have left here to avoid being identified once on the Black Moon. The long blue steel shaft had been cast in one piece with the spearhead shaped as a predatory triangle, equally good for stabbing and slashing blows. A dainty weapon, unusually light and decorated with complex flourishes of fancy engravings. An inscription in Globish snaked up its steel shaft, its symbols cleverly stylized as Shea ideograms, allowing me to grasp its meaning rather than read it. We protect people. Verdict. An Azure artifact. Bladed energy weapon. Class. Transformer. Starbeam. Creates an arc of A energy with a powerful azuric destructive factor and armor-penetrating effect. Uses the item's own azuric reserves. The ability's range and power can be increased by also employing the azuric reserves of the gauntlet. Lethal pinprick. A successful penetrating attack can trigger an internal explosion of A energy, dealing enormous damage within a small range. Uses the item's own azuric reserves. The ability's range and power can be increased by also employing the azuric reserves of the gauntlet. Energy of the Edge. The weapon contains small fragments of the Black Moon, which supply the gauntlet with a continuous passive energy flow. Radiation intensity, 10 to 12 azure per minute, fully absorbed by the gauntlet's own stocks. Blue steel. The spear was created using a form of altered matter with strong paraphysical properties whose makeup is indestructible by any known means. Transformable. Type. Guyver. The spear comes with its own microcryptor, allowing the user to instantly whip it out or conceal it within the gauntlet. Warning. The spear's withdrawal from the gauntlet's energy circuit will result in the creation of a small A-zone. This was arguably the best azuric weapon I'd ever seen, and not just because it was transformable. A blow from this spear was guaranteed to kill any enemy of a comparable size. One blow, one death. Even from a great distance, provided you could use Starbeam and Pinprick in a combo. And what was even better, it was designed to be used exclusively against A creatures, which also meant A humans. I twirled it in my hand just like the ephemeral had just done, my heart filled with an inexplicable joy. My hands seemed to have instantly liked this weapon. They eagerly remembered how to use it. I summoned and unsummoned it a few times. Once disabled, it disappeared within a split second, becoming one with the gauntlet, only to instantly reappear within my clenched fist, so fast that it felt like some sort of magic. A trick like this could become a deadly surprise to any opponent who considered me unarmed. The second item that Prometheus had left me looked like a narrow bracelet identical to those that constituted the